Good morning, everyone. How are you? We're about to get lots of rain uh, coming down pretty soon here. I think it just got really gray, but I hope you all are doing well. I'm going to wait a couple more minutes and see if some more people join us. Make sure my camera is going to work here. Okay. Good morning. Thanks for being here and offering classes. Thank you, Charlotte. I'm so glad you're here this morning. So we're going to be working with books today. You may have already seen the video I did a couple months ago on altering books. So hopefully you had a chance to look at that or some other book altering videos. This is going to be the second part of that. So I'm not going to be talking so much today about treatment of pages because I talked about that a lot in that video, in that first video. And really any mixed media technique that I've talked about over the last couple of months, you can do to these pages, the pages of your book. Hey, Jamie. Hi, Monica. Thanks for joining today. So I hope you have some old books on hand to play around with. You could also work with magazines if you want. Now I have to confess, I am not a book artist by any means. And everything that I do when I work with old books is just stuff that it's like experiment for me, things that I just try and kind of come to just through my own exploration. So don't expect like technical expertise, skills, especially measuring. I'm not a measurer. So what we're going to be doing today more is just exploring how to approach our books like they're a sculpture, like they're an interactive sculpture. This is something, books are so great because you flip through them. I'm going to do this now. You can flip through a book and it's just such a fun tactile experience. You really can use this in an intuitive way, like a journaling technique. So I just want to show things you could try doing on your own with the pages of your book to make it an even more fun, interactive experience. So here's a little pocket I have with a little folded book inside of it. So we're going to talk about that today, different ways to put pockets in your books, different fold-out techniques that you might apply to the book. Here's another little pocket. And we're also going to, just talk about different ways you can give a fun experience to either yourself or your viewer, whoever it is that's going to be flipping through the pages of your book. And all these books that I show you are things that I've done as demonstrations in classes. And it just is kind of a fun surprise that, something like these two pages come across from each other. I really enjoy when that happens. Here's a little corner pocket we're going to try today. So again, like I said, we aren't really going to be working with paints or anything like that today. We're just going to play around and experiment with the pages of our book and try fun things out like that. Hi, Joanne. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is how to make a niche in your book, a cutout. A place, you know how they always have in the movies where people like store a gun in a book? We're going to do that. We're not going to do a gun, but we're going to do a little cutout in our book where we can store something or use it as a frame. So I could not find my book that had an example of this, unfortunately. So we're gonna explore it together. Okay, so what's gonna happen is, let's say this is your book. Hey, Alana. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna be able to open your book up a couple of pages, and then there's gonna be a niche cut into it, a secret compartment where you can put stuff. Or I'm gonna do mine today like a frame. You could open this up and you could have a frame here cut out with a picture of, you know, your favorite kitty cat or child or something in there. So either way, it's just a fun way to use the book as a sculptural element. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna need is, you're gonna need an adhesive. So my favorite adhesive to use for this, a really strong, really cool adhesive, a student recommended this to me years ago and I love it, is take some Elmer's glue and put a little bit of that out in a cup and then mix that with your heavy gel medium. It's a really nice, strong paste for adhering things. Ooh, we just got a big blast of rain here. So I just mixed a scoop of that gel medium into here. I'm mixing them together and I'm gonna get this really strong paste now. And this is going to dry clear. So this is a really good substance to use, a nice strong adhesive that you can use. Or you could use just one of these on its own. But it's fun to mix them together. So the next thing you're going to do for your niche, for your cutout, is you're going to take your adhesive and you're going to paint. You're going to determine, okay, these are going to be the pages that I glue down and cut together or cut out of. So you're going to take your adhesive and you're going to paint it or brush it onto the sides of the book. So get a nice thick application and brush it down. Now, I'm not going to do it because I want to save this book for something, but y'all can try this. Don't go too light with it. I've seen people just take a little tiny bit and brush on. You got to use a lot and really like get it to adhere. And what's going to happen is then you're going to put a weight on it, and you should wait then a while for it to all dry and set up. I did this one this morning, and unfortunately, it is not dried. I put a little piece of plastic in there, and I did it on this piece of freezer paper. But what I have here is like a block of pages now. So these are all sticking together, but I only have the adhesive on these 3 edges. Now, since this isn't dried all the way, it's still a little tacky. You do want to let it set up, and preferably let it set up overnight. But we're just going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and do my demo with this as it is. Okay. So the next thing is you want to determine what your cutout's going to be. Is it going to be, I mean, you know, you have a block of text here that makes it really easy. You have some good guidelines here to follow. If you want to do a frame, maybe you could do a heart. Maybe you could trace something, trace a stapler. If you have a deep enough book, and you could do that, whatever it is you want to do. I've also seen people do 2 little cutouts on one section. I'm going to be really, really boring, and I'm just going to do a basic block shape. So next thing is I'm going to, hey Paulette. So we just got lots of rain here. Next thing I'm going to do is grab my X-acto knife, a nice strong X-acto knife. Make sure you're going to be cutting on a board of some sort. Put that down. And this is where this can be intense. This is like, yeah, this can be the intense part. So you can use a straight edge. And maybe what I'll do is even just make a line here that I'm going to follow. I think I'll do it here. Ooh, I love the way the rain is sounding. So I'm giving myself a little line, a little outline to follow here. Okay, and then next comes the most difficult part, when you have to cut everything. So you're going to be cutting through all of these pages. And my advice is to just take a deep breath and give yourself some time. Don't try to cut them all like right off the bat. The way I have my finger there is totally not what you should be doing. You should be holding this like this. You want your hands out of the way. I don't know why I'm using this ruler, but I am. I think I'm going to try it again. So I'm going to just keep cutting through there. Oops, I made my box bigger than I had originally planned. I'm curious if anyone is trying this. I'm going to go ahead and do the other side here. I might need to turn this around, but we'll see. I mean, I'll be honest, I also did a smaller chunk of pages because I didn't want to be here all morning cutting this. So let's see, some of these should. So you'll start to be able to remove whatever it is you're cutting out. And then you can use these things for something else. You might make little booklets out of them. You might use them for pockets, like I'm going to show in a little bit. It's really up to you. There's other little tricks you can do to keep this from moving around. You can clamp it to the side of a table if you have to. And really, the sharper your knife, the happier you're going to be in the end. For some reason, this reminds me of when I was a kid. I was determined that I could just dig a square hole in the ground and then like put wooden planks on the edges and have like a cool little underground house. I never tried it, but this is how I imagined it working. So yeah, I'm gonna just keep cutting through. Sometimes if you have a huge chunk of pages, you gotta get like a big old X-acto knife. Which, you know. A square is really your easiest thing. You could do a heart, you could do other stuff. It's just going to be a lot more complicated. I'm determined to get to the bottom of this. But you might just do like a little, right now I have about 1/8 of an inch cut through, maybe almost 1/4 of an inch cut through. I could probably use that. I could hide a little card or something in there, and that's probably still deep enough that I could do a little picture frame or something. See, now this is where I start shredding everything, and my impatience starts coming through. And you can just, however you want to deal with the space. This just gave me an idea What if you just cut like 3 sides? And leave the one side intact, and then you can almost have like a little book within a book, like that. Kind of neat. See, that's the thing. It's like these ideas come to you when you're just trying something out. I think I'm going to go with that, Joe. I think I'm going to try this idea of doing a little book within a book. So I've cut down, you can see, I mean, again, it's up to you how patient you are. This is how much of the pages that I adhered together, and I've gotten probably about halfway through. But this is a really nice frame. Now, there's a number of ways you could go ahead and treat this. One is you might paint this separately, put an image here. My idea was to put the image back here, cut all the way through. Maybe I'll still do it. I don't know. But I do like the idea of a book within a book. You can almost fold your pages. Yeah, there's tons you could be doing here. I'm realizing as I'm cutting this. You could really just explore this little section here and the way that you cut the pages in it. If you're impatient and you want to be doing this right now, what you can do is if you have clamps or something, you could clamp your pages together and start cutting through. But maybe you're just adhering things right now. I'm going to just stop here. So imagine I cut all the pages away. This would be a really cool frame for something under here. Another thing you can do now that you have this, you can do my favorite trick. You can take a paper towel, paper napkin, or tissue paper. This is really pretty tissue paper that I got from a friend. So I'm pressing that in there. And what I could do is adhere that to go around. And then I have a lined little niche that I could work with. So I'm going to do that. It's going to get messy in here. I'm going to take a large brush. Sorry for the creaky chair. I'm going to take a large brush. I'm going to try to use as little water as possible because the water is what makes your pages curl up. I'm going to take some of this stuff, dip it in a little water, and I'm going to just brush it over the top of this. Try to get a lot of it in there. I'm going to take my tissue paper and I'm going to start to line this with it. Now, you're probably all way better at doing something like this than I am. See, I'm just kind of cramming it in there. I know that there's ways of doing this that it's less wrinkled and stuff, but card is good to kind of and then depending on what you're working with, you could fold this around. I'm going to just trim it though. Move all this out of the way. These you can use for something, so hold on to them. I like to try to be a little more precise here, but I'll take my X-acto knife. Let's see, how am I going to do this? I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to cut it here. I'm going to cut hope y'all can see this. I'm just cutting off the extra paper here from the sides. And then there's my little pocket or niche. And of course, like I said, you can do this deeper. You don't have to have a back to it like I have here. It could just go all the way through and you could have a frame. But this is how I'm doing mine. Yay. And then maybe I could make a little book from these and store the book right here. I'm going to need to make this a little smaller if I do that. It just lightninged. If the stream gets cut off. All right, see, now I have this little pocket. Put a book in there, store something in there. Use it for a cool piece of art. All right, so that's a really quick way to make a cutout in your book. And I did a really quick, simple, easy one. Like I said, you can do them thicker. You can use, you know, And I could have cut all the way through this so there wouldn't even be a back to this, and it would just reveal something back here. All right, I hope that was fun. So now I want to talk about making pockets. Pockets are really, really fun ways. I actually love this, and I'm gonna just, keep that like that. Pockets are really fun, interactive devices for your book. A really easy way to make a pocket is to take a square piece of paper and just put it on the corner of your page, staple it down, and then maybe take a piece of washi. This is washi tape. This is perfect for this kind of thing. It's a decorative tape, so you could put it over your staple so you don't see the staples. And I did one. Oh, here, this one. So this is basically exactly what I described, a square piece of paper. I did cut a little thingy here. I stapled it down, and then I used this plaid washi tape to tape it in. And now I can put stuff into it. So that's one fun, easy way to make a pocket. Another thing you can do is, if you are going to use another piece of paper, is to fold the sides and the back. And what I did was I actually cut the little corners away so I wouldn't have that extra bulk there. But you can cut the sides and the back, put some adhesive here, and then use that for your pocket as well. So I'm going to do one over here so they match. Actually, no, I'll do it on this side. No, I'll do it underneath these two. Okay, so I have my sides folded down. I'm going to take my special glue substance and brush it on the back of this. And also on the corners here where these overlap. Just those three sides. And then I'm going to place it where I want it to go. And keep that adhered down. Maybe take a piece of plastic, a piece of wax paper, put it there, shut the book, let it dry. And you have a really fun, quick, easy pocket. I also like to cut like a little dip or something in the pocket. So I probably should have planned that out beforehand, and I didn't, but I'm going to just try it right now. Or actually, I might have to take this off. But this is a really fun time if you have like decorative hole punches. Those are great to use for this kind of thing. You also could stitch. You know, I'm using glue, but you could also stitch your pocket on. That would be really cool. I'm gonna just do some punches. Didn't work. Decorative hole punches are great for this kind of thing. Hole punches, washi tape, X-acto knife, adhesive. Those are all really good things you need for book arts. All right, so there's another pocket. Then you can take something and put it in there. And then you have this another fun interactive element to your book. Another way to make a pocket, I had done this book, the last session I did. You can take 2 pages and adhere the top and the bottom together, and then you can have a side fold here. So I can put something in this pocket as well. Tags are really fun to make on things so they can pull out and in. You could have a little window cut here so you can pull, almost make it like a screen or something. I'm not a big pop-up arts person. That's a whole other genre, but you can get into that too, like opening something up and having it pop out. So just simply adhering 2 pages together for a sleeve is a great way to make a book or a pocket. You could also adhere this and this side together and have a pocket up on top. Another fun way is to fold over 2 corners. Okay, how did I do this before? Fold the corners over, you put them together, and then you can adhere here and on these sides. And then this is your pocket. So I'm going to do that. So I've folded over the corners here. I'm going to go ahead and just staple I really hope I'm doing this right. And I'm going to put a piece of washi tape over this. You can just also put the washi tape on it. Okay. I love this stuff. I think it's great. And then this is where the pocket's going to be. So you could get creative with how you do this. You might you could just tape this side, and then you have this here. Let's see, I'm going to cut this. But really, like, if you just spend some time folding up the pages of your book, you'll start to come up with all sorts of interesting ways to make pockets and stuff to keep things in. Now imagine if these pages actually had like painting or pictures or collage or mixed media on them. How cool that would be also. I'm going to mix up my washi tape. But yeah, this is the purpose of this washi tape. It's not super strong necessarily, but it is a tape, and it's more it's a nice decorative element. It's a way to finish up something. All right, so now I have this, and I could even put a piece of washi tape here to just kind of finish that up, or paint it, or something like that. So that's another pocket that you could try doing. Let's see, other things that are really fun when you're thinking about an interactive book. My favorite, easy, simple, fun thing to do is, after I've done a bunch of cool pages, is to just cut it up into these sections. I have it cut into 4 sections. And we all remember those books when we were kids, where it was like, or even now still as an adult, where it's like a head and a body, and you could change things this way. So I love just this really simple way to interact with a book that's really fun and a little bit different and unique. And I think fun for a kid. I showed, in my last video, I showed how to make a transfer, an image transfer with tape. And you can do that with pictures in your book that you can then transfer to other parts of the book. So that's a really fun thing to do also. Another thing I've discovered is folding, including pages that will fold out. So this could be a fun way to, if you have like some really beautiful papers, maybe someone's given you, I have all these gorgeous papers. They have such a nice touch, it's like a really nice feeling to them, but I don't want to use them for anything because I just like the way they feel so much. So I've been thinking a great way to use these is to incorporate them into a book, so I can just leaf through the book and have these papers here that I can also leaf through. So an easy way to do that would just be to adhere it to like the binding of a book, so it's just another page that you flip through. That's one really easy thing you can do. Something else I was thinking is that you could fold things and adhere them in a way. This is my experiment. That you can open them up from each other. So we're going to try that. I have a page here from this book. I folded over a little part of it. I am going to adhere that to the bottom of this page so that then this will fold out. Something you can do, extra credit, cut into this, make some cool cutouts. Let's just do that real quick. Just because it seems like it would be fun. Okay, I'll just cut here. So again, when you use an X-acto knife, keep your fingers out of the way. Okay, so I cut a little design just for fun. Maybe I'll round the corners. Maybe this is something that has paint or stuff on it. I'm just going to do that. Okay, so step 2. Here's our pocket, by the way. Still holding up. These illustrations are hilarious. Okay, I am going to glue this to the bottom of this page here. So I'm going to use my super special, super strong adhesive. Put a little bit of it here, just on that fold. And adhere that down. So this is going to be something I can lift out like that. Now I want to make this like, I want to be able to fold one page out and then the other page down. So let's see if this would work. If I put this, I folded this here. If I folded it around, if I put it around this like that, now I can open this up, and then I can open this up. So I've got like a present. So that would open and that would open. And then I suppose you could do another one at the top. So you have 3 pages that fold out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some adhesive on this fold. I'm going to put this underneath, because if I put it up here, it's going to keep this from being folded out. So I'm going to put it underneath that. And now, I mean, it's up to, like, I could make this, you know, I could make this even like a folding accordion fold that folds all the way out, really big. Or I could cut it here or leave this extra paper. I think for now I'm just gonna stick with the raw quality of it and just leave that. I'm feeling like it could be really cool to paint this side like a hot pink or something. Ooh, maybe we'll just do that real quick. I'll use my chalk pastel. And I'll get my freezer paper under this. I said I wasn't going to be doing painting, but let's just try this out. Chalk pastel, big brush, and acrylic glazing medium. See, you're just getting like a total insight into how I work here. And I'm going to brush this on because that is going to blend it and it's going to make it adhere. And I'm doing it on the freezer paper so it doesn't stick to the thing underneath it. Loving that thunder. It's amazing. And then maybe you have a little glitter that you can put on it. All right. So then when that dries, that's going to be a really nice, I'm just going to show you. It's going to be a fun contrast to this. So then I'll be able to pull this out and pull this out and have something here. Pretty cool. This is like the nature of altering books. I find it's so great for just coming up with things on the spot. It just kind of, I don't know, it's just a really fun format to use so you can try out all different kinds of things like that. So an accordion book would be really cool also to do if you have extra pages like this. Something you could do. Now, usually what I'll do is I'll paint them and decorate these and do stuff to them, but we don't really have. I'm just gonna look at the structure of it. So something you could do is you could make a bunch of these. And you could put them together this way. And then you have this accordion fold book. You could also make your folds smaller if you want. So I'm going to do these. That. And like that. And then I could adhere these there. And then fold them up. And then this could be something that pulls out. So I'll just go ahead and do that real quick. I'm wondering if any of you are working today and have come up with your own fun little trick or thing. As you're working. Okay, and I can hear this. Okay, so now I have this accordion fold piece. I could just leave it like this. Maybe there's information, maybe it's bigger. But that's the basic idea of that. And then you could potentially, oops, I'm gonna move this too much. Got to make sure you're using plastic, wax paper, freezer paper, anything like that to keep your pages from sticking together. But yeah, this could be something that I adhere someplace that I could then pull out like that. Or it's just a little accordion book that I can put into my pocket and pull it out and look at later. All different options and things you can try. I love doing things like this, like, you know, cutting some kind of a peekaboo thing. You can also make a little door, how would I do that? Let's see. How am I going to do it? I just put, remember, anytime you cut something, put cutting board underneath it. Okay, so X-acto knife, scooch all this up so you can see. And I mean, I'm just going to be real simple here and cut three sides, and now I can fold that out. And maybe I do the other way here. Like that. So I have 1, 2. So then sorry about this, everyone. Then this opens up. This opens up. A really fun thing we did, and I was thinking of doing this another day with you all. I did this in a class, was we did these color blocks on our pages. And then cut these little windows into it to look at the different ways the colors influence each other. And then you'd have a bunch of these that you could put into a pocket somewhere. So this is a really fun thing to try as well. And yeah, it's a good way of looking at how colors interact with each other. So I hope you've gotten some ideas today of things you could try, ways to make your book a little more interactive for the viewer. Sculptural elements to put into your book. Just all kinds of fun ways to work with the pages of the book. I mean, not only can you do all sorts of cool things with paint and glitter and, you know, string and decorative papers, but then also you can think about how do you cut these pages? How can you fold these pages to do some cool things with them? I'm gonna come back to my little, this one. I'm loving this. I think that's kind of fun. So if you have any questions, let me know. I know that was kind of like frantic. I hope there's something here to inspire you. And just, you know, again, like I like to work with the altered book more like a journal, like just trying things out, experimenting. Yeah, and just think of it as like an intuitive exercise that you can try. All right, well, if there aren't any questions, I am going to sign off. But thank you everyone for joining. If you do something cool, please send it to me. I really want to see it. I love seeing everyone's projects that they do. And yeah, please like the video if you like it, give a thumbs up, share it with a friend. That's always fun. And I hope that I see you all here next week. We're going to be doing narrative paintings, telling a story with a painting, and be on the lookout for the link to that. Thanks, Jamie. All right, have a great week, everyone. I'll see you next week. Bye.